This episode of Techno Buffalo is brought to you by AMD. Hello, Internet, and welcome back to another episode of Ask the Buffalo, the show where you can ask me, Ashley Esqueda, any question you might have from the wide world of technology and sometimes beyond. Every Tuesday, we put up a call for questions on technobuffalo.com. You can leave your question in the post comments. Otherwise, you can send them to me any time of the day or night on Twitter at TechnoBuffalo or at Ashley Esqueda. Just use the hashtag AskTheBee so I can see it. Hashtag, I can't read. Usually, I'll answer between 3 and 5 questions every episode. Let's get answering. This is Ask the Buffalo. Alexander Luke asks, what kind of filming gear do you guys use? Well, Alexander Luke, we just upgraded and we have a couple of cameras in office. So we used to use a 5D Mark III, which was very, very lovely, but we upgraded. We've got a Canon C100 as our main shooting camera, and it is a true delight, sir, a true delight. We also use different kinds of lighting. We have a green screen here. We have a 60D that we also use as a secondary camera. So we do shoot Canon here at the office. We use iPads for teleprompters. We've got all kinds of gear and equipment and all this other just great, awesome stuff. But that's what we use to film. Like right now we're filming on the C100 and we have a center light and we've got an iPad teleprompter. Josh asks, hey Ashley, what kind of games do you like playing the most? Shooters, fighters, adventure games, or another category? I would say my favorite types of games, there's probably 3 categories in particular that I really love. The genres that I like to play, I love RPGs, so I'm a big Final Fantasy fan, but older Final Fantasy, so like kind of that middle Final Fantasy VII era. I loved Final Fantasy X. 10-2 was okay. There's a lot of costumes in that one. I did love some of that Final Fantasy. I like RPGs. I love platformers. Huge platforming fan. I would say Psychonauts is probably my #1 platformer of all time, just because it was so funny and so great. I love point-and-click games. Big Maniac Mansion fan from way back, NES. And I also really love adventure games. So I would say this year my absolute favorite game has been BioShock Infinite, hands down. So I guess that would be a shooter, but it wasn't necessary. It was like a first-person shooter, but there was so much more, I thought, adventure to it. I'm gonna try not to butcher this, but at Fawazi Ghazawi says, will the Moto X and Moto G receive a full international release, including Asia, Southeast Asia, etc.? I don't think that the Moto X is going to see an international release, and that's really unfortunate. However, I do think that there is like a big push here with the Moto X and this whole assembled in the US and all this other stuff. The Moto G, on the other hand, I absolutely think will be the international device that's sort of the answer to the Moto X. Sure, it does have a little bit lesser specs, but the thing is globally, that's actually a good thing because there are a lot of emerging markets like India who would love a phone like the Moto G. And the fact that it is a lot cheaper than the Moto X, obviously the cost of the Moto X is a little bit higher than what we're used to seeing in terms of smartphones, even here in the States. So I don't know that the Moto X would sell that well in certain markets that Motorola would definitely want to be in. So I think the Moto G is actually a better choice for an international device, and I do think that you will be seeing the Moto G roll out all across the globe. At Lamont Cranston 3 says, Ashley Esqueda, how do you keep getting prettier and prettier with every video? Well, only the shadow knows, Lamont, and I think you know what I'm saying. No, seriously, guys, I'm drugging you. I mean, you guys really need to take better care of and protect your water sources much, much better. You're basically being drugged into thinking that I'm more attractive. And finally, Tim Sinclair Lee says, at John for Lakers, this is a question for John. Did you upgrade your Gen 1 iPad mini to iOS 7? Did it still work okay or did it slow down? I actually asked John Rettinger, the man, the Buffalo. I asked him this question and he actually said, no, he didn't really see any slowdown. He said it'll act pretty much exactly the same. I mean, it's specs from an iPad 2, so pretty much exactly the same as an iPad 2 getting upgraded to iOS 7. So if you've been thinking about upgrading your first gen iPad mini, you can. And also Apple's got an update coming up pretty soon. I believe it's in beta right now. Don't quote me on that. Where you're going to be able to shut off things like the transparency, different things like that, where you're going to be able to disable a lot of things that sort of hinder performance on some of the older iPads and iPhones. So that's always something you can also look forward to. I want to take a second to thank our friend and sponsor, AMD. AMD powers the world's best PC graphics. Did you know AMD is powering both the Xbox One and the PS4? Yeah, that's right. They're leveraging the awesome power of AMD. You're going to be able to get the same CPU horsepower to get things done on your AMD powered device during the day, and then unplug and play games when you're finished with your work. Products with AMD's newest APU has the ability to function as a fully working laptop when you need it, and then when you're craving a little less weight, you can undock that sucker and use your AMD APU powered device as a tablet. I love it. All-day battery life means your device is going to sip battery, giving you at least 8 hours of battery life a day. AMD-powered laptops and tablets adjust their power consumption depending on what you're doing. Steam games, writing papers, streaming Netflix. It's up to you, and it's all possible with the power of AMD. Well, that's it for this week's Ask the Buffalo. Thank you so much for watching. Please give the show a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. We appreciate that. And check us out at technobuffalo.com for all the latest and greatest tech news. Until next week, I'm Ashley Esqueda. See you guys next time. Hey guys, Ashley here. Just wanted to let you know that if you liked what you just saw, we've got 2 other shows that go live every single week. Redinger's Rants, where John totally goes nuts about issues that bug him across consumer technology, and Rumor Roundup, where he tells you all about the best rumors in the world of tech. So click the text below that says subscribe, and if you want to check out either of those shows, click right over here. See you next time. Thanks for watching.